Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Family Entrepreneur Life live show. I'm your host, Ariana Sylvester, and today I've got a lovely member from our Family Entrepreneur Life group, Amanda Appaigyei. Did I say it right? I practiced before we went live. And she's got such a cool story to tell you guys. And I love hearing everyone's different stories, which is why we do these member stories episodes. So Amanda, why don't you say hello and tell everyone what your family dynamic is?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so about the life integration and working it alongside your business. And that's very much part of my life. So yes, I live in London with my two boys, and they are, so one is 1.5 and the other one is 4. So, and we had to move, which was annoying. So we didn't get a school place. So we're also homeschooling this year. So that's interesting. So we're doing half homeschooling and half nursery. So it's a bit, it's touch and go, but for now it's going okay. But I do have, the little one is with me all the time. So, work-life integration is just absolutely essential. There has to make it work every single day. It's quite exciting living in London because there's lots of, co-working spaces available. Lots more kind of coming, quite exciting as well. So that's awesome. That's our little family life at the moment.
Yay. And you actually used to have 2 separate businesses. Is that correct?
I did. Yes.
And you have a cool story about that.
Kind of fell into, I've always had a bit of an entrepreneurial streak, as my husband would say. And I think I was probably about 10 when I first decided, I could sell like pictures of wedding dresses. I could sell illustrations of wedding dresses. And, that didn't really work out. But I then, when I did my own wedding stationery, I trained, and so when I did my own wedding stationery, I thought actually there's a lot of, there's a big market in this and there's a lot of money. So I started in with wedding stationery, and then I just happened to card designs to one of the wedding fairs, and they sold really well. So I then started a stationery business, and it grew from there. I did all sorts of different occasion cards. And then I had a whole range, and we moved into a bigger place so that I could have an office, because it's so expensive here in London. It's cheaper to move into a bigger house, to rent a bigger house, than it was to rent a separate studio and everything. And anyway, it doesn't really work going into a separate studio with kids, does it? So that doesn't really work out for me. So packing into the night happened quite a lot. And, that's my knee there, sorry. At Christmas times when it was busy, packing until 2, 3 a.m. And so it all kind of got a bit too much. Yeah, it was all a bit too much. So it was kind of last year that I realised, although I'd grown it, I'd been working on the business for 4 years, I'd realised actually this wasn't where I wanted to go, and this wasn't the direction I wanted to take. And because it had grown so organically, it wasn't something that I'd planned or prepared. And it was just kind of, I'd taken where my interests had gone and where my passions were. So I'd realised that actually this wasn't what I wanted to be doing. I didn't want to be jealous of my husband having 2 full weeks off, because he had a normal job, as it were. So I just kind of realised that wasn't what I wanted. So I started doing a lot of thinking about, where I saw myself next, the big picture stuff, where do you see yourself 5 years, 10 years? And I saw myself a lot less stressed out and with more sleep and not packing orders at 3 a.m., but also not managing a team of people to do it for me. So I realised that I wanted the freedom to still get up and go out with the kids and take the kids out to, the museum if I wanted to. So basically I'd gone to, so then the way I started the new business, so this is the one I'm now working on, which is really exciting. I actually just happened to be going, I'd had this idea about creatives getting together and swapping jobs. So say you've got a copywriter who needs a logo with the graphic designer, and they'll do some copywriting in exchange. So I'd had this idea, and I couldn't find anything online about it. I wasn't sure if it'd be popular. And on the way back from a business event, I just mentioned it to these 2 girls I've met, and they went, oh my goodness, that's not been done. I don't think it's a brilliant idea. And then I posted it in a Facebook group, in a different Facebook group with business mums in it. who always need this kind of thing. If you're starting a business, and you often don't have the resources to pay someone to do that. And I just put this idea out there, and I had about 100 comments on the post saying, oh my goodness, you've got to go for this. Please do it now. And so I did, basically. And then, so it started. I've now got the new business, the Kindred Creatives, which is, it's got bigger and bigger. Essentially, it's a match for creative businesses to match them with the help they need to grow their businesses.
I love that. And I remember when you had started talking about that concept, I think it was quite a while ago. Uh-oh, I lost you. Are you still there? We might have a frozen internet option issue right now. Hello, hello. Uh-oh. I think we have officially frozen, everyone. I'm going to see if I can get Amanda back on with us. I don't know what the issue is, so bear with us for one moment. Oh. Oh, we're back. Yay! Oh I was like, no, we lost her. Apparently the internet just doesn't want to cooperate with us today. Okay. So you're back. We had just ended talking about Kindred Creatives and how you kind of came up with the idea. You put the idea out there to some people and you had some massive response coming back. So how long has the Kindred Creatives actually been open, like up and running?
I'm still in the planning stage. So I'm building the website. I've been kind of, getting the idea out there, and I've been working on my social media. Because it's a lot bigger a tech startup idea than just going, oh, I'll see if this card design sells. It's a whole new kind of world. So actually in a part of your community, and you two sharing your knowledge, you and Tom sharing your knowledge has been amazing to have, because I think there's a real lack of that in the creative community. That kind of the more business side of things is really kind of, it's hard to find, I think, in that often you don't know what you need. So I've actually spent the last 6 months for this kind of a different business model that's not kind of the more artist illustration design route, and is more of a tech startup and everything that's involved in that. So I've not yet launched. I'm building a website at the moment. Yeah.
All right. Well, the even more anticipation is that we get to hear about it when you launch, which is so exciting. I'm
so excited.
So I want to go back to when you decided your first business wasn't serving you anymore. Like, what are some of the emotions that you kind of went through? Because I know a lot of people have a tough time with that concept after you've kind of like built something up from the ground up, and then it's, you think of your business as your baby, just walk us through some of what you went through there, because that's a lot,
Yeah. So I think for me, because I'd got to the point where I realized that this wasn't what I'd wanted, I didn't done those big kind of, looking into my future things. And I think that's really important, but you also have to have an action plan, because, if you don't take those steps, then it's just not going to go anywhere. So I kind of started thinking about what else, started leaning towards doing the blogging side of my business, that my original business. And I think the point when I realized was that I had to house, because we had to move, and I didn't really have anywhere for it to go. So we were moving to a smaller place. We've actually moved even more central. So the big place was off the cards. And I actually just didn't realize I didn't want to do it. So I outsourced the packing to someone else. And that was great. But I was still having to do the design work, and I was still having to deal with customers. And I just I think it was one day when one woman verified that I'd accidentally not sent her card, like her card got her one day late, and she was absolutely horrified with the customer service. And I just, in my life, this is not where I want to be. And I didn't have the time to work on this new business idea. So I just said to my husband one day, I just said, what if I just sell it? What if I didn't think I'd actually sell it, because I wanted to keep the name and I wanted to keep the blog. And I didn't want to sell all the card designs because they were really perfect. But I think it was that feeling of, I'm ready to let someone else love this, and I'm ready to let someone else share, like, I like that I designed, but I'm ready for someone else to share those with someone else, and someone else to deal with the stuff that I don't want to do. So actually, I thought it would be a real decision. It was actually a lot easier, and it felt like a massive weight had lifted off my shoulders, just not having the stress of having to manage the things that I didn't want to. I think it helped that I kept some of the designs myself. So there was a range of cards that, and I thought if ever I wanted to do something with them, that I would then have them. And there was first designed when my firstborn was tiny, and I designed these little animals to keep him entertained. And then they became cards. So any cards that had those. But yeah, just little things like that. So I feel like I still kept the essence, and the new person rebranded and she changed the name. So essentially she just got the stock, and she got the files, and she got, the storefront of the shop. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it was like,
I love that you, it's just so refreshing to hear that perspective from you, and just, you built something that you loved, and you said it. I love the quote, I'm ready for someone else to love this. And I think that's just huge, and being okay with letting something that was a piece of you go and moving on and moving forward. And, you get to experiment with new things. You've pivoted and gone in a slightly different direction. You're still working with artists in the creative space. But I love that. And what did your husband think of all of this? Because it seems like he's pretty supportive of your business.
Oh my God, say that last bit one more time. Sorry, you just went out for a second there.
What did your husband think of all of this? Because it seems like he's pretty supportive of your business and everything.
Yes. So he works, as we say, a normal job.
A normal job.
He leaves the house at 7 a.m. and he doesn't usually get back until quite late 7, but he does love his job, which helps. But he's always been really supportive of me and my business. And so when I left my full-time job, he was actually really supportive of it, which is nice to have. And I think if you don't have that, it's a really hard thing. But I think he fed off my passion and my enthusiasm for it. And I'm really lucky to have him. He helps me out because we sit down and we have a little meeting once a week about the business, which is really good fun. And also it's just nice to have someone else to kind of, when you're not sure of ideas, a good head on to kind of help you out. But he does say that he'll get home and I'll say, do marketing, and just throw ideas at him and I've done this all day, leave me be. But yeah, so it's really nice. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you have 2 little ones. What did they think of, kind of getting to see the back end of the business? And, has your 4-year-old kind of seen any interest in it yet, or started like asking questions?
Well, actually, do you know what? So over the Christmas period when it was really busy, he was actually brilliant, and he'd gotten old enough that he could help. So he was like 3.5, and he would earn 10p or something for helping pick up all the rubbish in my office and pick up all the and we had a chat about this because he was having to go to nursery, which actually he really had a bad experience, and he just didn't really, he liked to be at home, and he cried every morning, and it broke my heart. And it was long days as well. It was 10 hours, it's not like now he goes, but it's for 5 hours. And so we had a little chat about, Zach, if you want me to stay at home and spend more time with you, you have to let me work sometimes. So we had a chat about that. And so he will make sure, so, on those days, some days I have them both the whole day. And so on to me by looking after his little brother, who's, you know, only 18 months, but he'll be in the same room, but he'll entertain him and play with him. And have a look. This is how, you know, if we want our lives to be, you want to spend time with mummy at home and you want to do this, you know, then you need to give mummy some space to work. And he's actually really good, and he's really mature and realizing that, you know, that this is kind of the best of both, which is really sweet. So it's really nice to see. And it's nice for him to see that, like, you know, mum and everyone does work, and, you know, it's nice for him to see that. I think that's a really positive thing.
Yeah, I love that.
So,
and ours is similar. We have a. I have an echo. I have an echo. Where did that come from? How did that happen?
It just turns up.
Because I'm really far away from the microphone. So we have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they're very similar. Where, you know, if we're doing stuff, they will play together for hours if you let them. And, you know, she'll just kind of lead them along, and occasionally they have a little, you know, fight over things, and we just kind of separate them and say, okay, it's time for everyone to play on their own. And they just entertain themselves. And, you know, we can sit at the kitchen table and work on the laptops, and, you know, then we have family time together. And it's just been so nice to kind of teach them a little bit of what that means, you know, when you're working for something, and that means you have to be, you know, very specific with your time, and it's work time, and then we set aside play time, and that they've been really good with that. Obviously the 5-year-old is better than the 2-year-old, but
the same. And I think, like, I think, like, children thrive on structure and routine. Well, at least my kids do. I'm sure not every child does, but mine do. And I think that really helps. So we have a good routine set up where in the morning I do a bit of work, and Zach goes to nursery, but Ollie's at home with me. And I've got time to do something fun, had that chunk of time to work, and then able to go out. And also it's nice to go out and not feel guilty about spending that time. And I think that makes a really real difference as a parent who runs a business. You feel guilty no matter what, whether you're working on your business or, you know, or if you're with your kids, you think, oh, I should be working. And I think that's a really hard thing for, you know, any parent really. But yeah, I think it does make it easier if you can show them that kind of integration, that this, and, you know, and then when I go out to the museums with them, I have a great time and I relax and I actually enjoy myself, which I didn't before because I was too stressed out about, you know, so I think it's good to have the structure.
Yeah, I definitely agree 100% on that. You know, I've posted about it a couple times. And I used to feel so much guilt, you know, the mom guilt, and then you've got the work guilt, and, you know, you should be working on your business, and things aren't moving forward as they should be. And just kind of embracing that blend of the life and the business together allows you to let go of some of that guilt and say, all right, I'm going to have a structure, I'm going to have a schedule, and these are the times when I'm going to enjoy myself and the work can wait. And then these are the times when the kids need to go entertain themselves and I'm going to work. And it's been working out so well. And it's I feel like it's so easy to adjust then when you have like life situations happen. It's so much easier to then adjust to give yourself more time for life. Or when you have something big coming up in your business, it's so much easier to like talk to your family and say, hey, I've got this stuff that I have to do. And, you know, after it's done, we're going to have lots of time together. But right now I really have to focus. So it gives you that flexibility that I think you just, you know, you don't have when you have that normal job. And we're all looking to get freedom, but we end up giving ourselves like extra jobs when we start a business sometimes.
We do. Yeah, I think that's true. And I think like, it's a double edge because you know, for everything that you think, oh, this is great, there is also the thing that your mind almost never turns off if you're integrating like that. But I think if it's another one of your member stories, I can't remember who it was now, and I remember she was saying that like what it is, it's being there for those younger years, I think, as well, that feels so important to be there and spend that time with them. And that when I think about when I worked full time, I would leave the house at 7 and get home at 6:37, and I barely saw Zach. Ollie's age now, I barely saw him, whereas now I get to hang out with him all day, and I still he's really easy to look after compared to his brother. So actually I get loads of work done even with him around, and I think that's really it just feels, and the difference as well is that you then don't have a day of work and you have to then make dinner and put on laundry and make the lunches, because you can kind of fit those things around your day. And because I'm at home more, you know, it's just to fit.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I actually did like 5 loads of laundry yesterday. Well, I was working, but I mean, my office is next to the washer and dryer, you know, so I would just, you know, I would work, and then as soon as it beeped, I would just go change it real quick, 2 minutes, come back and get back to work. And now it's instead of having to take an entire day to just do laundry and things around the house, I've easily integrated that within my workday. And then, you know, we are the type that has, like, I've done all the laundry, but now it's sitting in the clean laundry bags waiting to be put away. But that's the time where I'll say, okay, I'm ready to take some me time. I'm going to go, well, not really me time, but I'm ready to take some downtime. I'm going to go turn on one of my shows in the bedroom, and I'm going to put away all the laundry. So then I'm taking and integrating our lifetime by doing 2 things at the same time. And, you know, we tend to be queens of multitasking. So I'm like, I might as well put this to good use.
Massive. I do that all the time. And I think there's a difference between multitasking and like your business, because, you know, there's that idea that actually there's no such thing as terms of, you know, if you keep flitting from one thing to the next, you're not really doing it. But in terms of like using that dead time, so I do that all the time. And I think that's one way that so for example, when I take the older one to nursery, on the way back, I strap the little one on my back in a sling, and it's about a 10-minute walk back. And so I listen to a bit of Pumped Up for my day, and, you know, get some advice from whatever, you know, I'm listening to. And it's just, I think, finding ways to use those little bits of time, a few minutes in your day, which, you know, you might not necessarily use otherwise. And I can't watch TV without doing something else now. Injury, or what is that? I don't know. It just feels, I'm like, this is a waste of my time. I want to watch this, but there's laundry that needs folding.
I'm totally with you.
Do that. It's
when I sit still to watch a show, I feel so weird that my hands just aren't doing anything. So I've even if I'm not like brain capacity and I can't sit with my laptop and be doing kind of like busy work, now I've started I've gone back and done the coloring. So I've got the like adult coloring books, because I'm like, I can't sit still for some reason now. I used to be able to just fine.
I know. I didn't have a problem before.
I think it's the whole parent thing and then the entrepreneur thing together.
Exactly. And I think when you realize that, like, oh, time is short, and, you know, we have less time in our days and to squeeze in all these things we want to do, you start working out ways that you want to do it all. But I think also there's that thing where you think, oh, you can't have, think about what's really important and what the things have to get done. You really want to watch that show, but you know that laundry has to be folded because, well, you know, chucked in. And it's about integrating those things that, you know, that you can. I think it's so important.
So true. So what would you say on this whole journey that you've had so far is your biggest piece of advice or biggest lesson learned that you'd like to share with everyone today?
So I think it would be, this is sneakily 2 things, but it's one basically, is that first of all is that focus is your biggest productivity tool, and that if you have focus in your business and where you want to go, you will get so much more done just by having that deadline or that goal, and then making a plan to work towards it and work your way back from where you want to be to where you're going. And I didn't do that with my first business. I just kind of went with the flow, and it would get to September, October, and I'd be like, oh, it's Christmas stuff. And I didn't have a plan. And that brings stress into your life, and it makes you less productive because you don't know which way you're going. I did it totally different. And it was nice having all that, you know, things of like, oh, this is how I don't want to do it this time. I wanted to do it differently. I think it's that finding that focus and having that structure in your life to be more productive. And along with that, just kind of trusting your instinct. I had a long time that my business wasn't quite right. And I knew probably that the decision to outsource it to someone else wasn't quite right. And I just did another update. It felt like my baby and I didn't want to let it go at first. So I think, but really I kind of knew, I look back and actually probably I knew for a while that it wasn't really fitting in properly with mine. I suppose it would be to do those long-term goal planning things, to actually really think about what you want.
Yeah,
those would be my main things.
Focus, that's a great one right there. And that's so hard for most of us to do. But just to sit down and focus on where you want to be, and then focus on what you need to do to get there, which is really simple when you put it that way. But
yeah, it is, but it doesn't feel like it, does it?
No. No, it does not. And then that long-term goal planning, like you mentioned, that is what we talk about a lot. And it's very difficult for some people to be able to sit down and think out that far. And we stress it a lot that it is a practiced skill. So it's something that you kind of have to start out doing a little bit, and then you build upon that, and then you build upon that. And eventually you will be able to look out 10 years and say, this is where I want to be, and this is what I need to do to get there. But it all starts, with just starting off small and setting a goal and figuring out what you need to do to reach it. And then you just kind of multiply that and build upon it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think we get scared of it sometimes as well, because, you worry that, oh, what if I look out into the future and it, it doesn't come true, or, you don't know what you want to be seeing. So, it's just one of those things of being a business owner or an entrepreneur, or,
everything all in one.
Think about it. Yeah.
So if people want to find you and, kind of follow along with what you're doing, where is the best place for them to connect with you?
So I'm right now that I finally got my head around it after 2 years or so. So you can find me at The Kindred Creatives, is my Instagram name. And you can link through to my website through there. You can sign up for the newsletters and the emails to kind of be informed when everything goes live. So I'm hoping for a launch, not too long, but WordPress is a whole new game for me. So we'll see.
I hear you on the WordPress thing. I had to kind of get used to that as well myself. I'm so excited to hear about your new launch, though, and I'm sure you will post in the group so that we can keep up with you there as well. So if you love what Amanda's doing and you are interested and kind of want to connect with her and follow along, definitely go and find her. We'll post up her Instagram and her website. And then if you are watching and you are not yet a part of our community, the Family Entrepreneur Life, definitely jump on over there. It's you can find it at familyentrepreneur.life.com. Join us. We have conversations about all sorts of things. We have people answer questions, and members will pop in and give feedback and answer. And it's becoming a great little community. I love spending time in there. I actually have to stop myself from spending too much time in there because I have to do other things all the time in the business. But it's been a great show. Amanda, thank you so much for coming on. I am glad we got you back after the internet froze. I was a little worried for a minute.
I was worried that would be the end.
But I've enjoyed hearing more about your story. I've seen bits and pieces just having you in the community. But I love where you're going and where you're headed. And I am so excited to see where things go for you.
Oh, thank you so much. Feel so honored to. So thank you so much, Ariana.
All right, everyone, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. This week we've got 2 more interviews coming out, one tomorrow and one Friday. So I look forward to those, and thank you all. Good night.
Bye.